Hello everybody, in today's video I am going to show you how to dress up a cake using the shell technique. It's coming right up. Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Amy from Neurotic Mom Bakes and I'm going to show you the shell piping technique. It's really easy and it's lots of fun and it will totally elevate and dress up a basic cake. So what you're going to need is a piping bag and a piping tip. I'm actually going to use two different piping tips, but one is plenty. And you're going to need a frosting color of choice, and then you're just gonna wanna have a cake that's crumb coated. This one's fully coated, but it can be simply crumb coated, and that's enough because you're going to cover it fully. You will also need one of these tools. It doesn't matter if you don't have a spatula, an offset, or a straight spatula, a spoon will work. And you're going to want to have a wet, clean rag nearby, and you will see why. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prep my piping bag. Let me get my scissors. And I'm going to just cut an opening. And I am using the Wilton, let's see what this is, the Wilton 1A tip. The 2A tip will work, but it's just the basic round piping tip. And I'm going to place that inside my bag. I need to cut it a little bit larger. I've turned the bag over my hand like this and made an opening. And then I'm going to give my buttercream a good stir. Always stir your buttercream before you use it. It just gets out all the air bubbles and it will make for a smoother consistency. I'm gonna get a spoonful of this, and I place it in the bag and I kind of push it down to get out the air bubbles. I'm gonna save a little bit for my second bag. Like I said, this would be plenty, but I'm gonna just add a little bit of texture just to show you in case you wanna add some variation. I'm gonna do the same thing with this piping tip. This is the Wilton 4B, which is the open star. I'm gonna place that inside of my piping bag and do the same thing. Fold it over my hand, create an opening, and add the rest of my buttercream. This technique, I will tell you, uses quite a bit of buttercream. So this is a 4-inch round cake, so it's a smaller cake. It's 3 layers. And it probably will use about a half of one of my regular batches of buttercream. So if you make a bigger cake, make sure you plan accordingly and make more buttercream. Okay. Now, if you want to use a ruler or a cake scraper to mark one vertical line, you can do that. It's not necessary. If you're confident you can get a straight line top to bottom. But if you just want a little extra guidance, I'll just kind of faintly mark a line just so it's nice and vertical to give me a starting point. And I'm going to get this round tip and I'm just going to pipe round circles all the way down. You want to try to get them roughly the same size. Perfect. Set that aside. Here's where you need your offset spatula or a spoon and the wet rag. So what you're going to do is you're going to press this into the middle of each dot and drag a little bit. And I do like to wipe off my spatula after each scrape. Then we'll pick up the piping bag again, and you're going to do the same thing, pipe the round dots, but you're gonna overlap on this shell, on these shells, kind of right about here. And we will repeat the process. Now, if you didn't want to wipe off just to save some time, you can totally do that. But sometimes you'll get little bits of frosting. That's why I like to clean it after each hole. And we just keep repeating the process. It's a little bit time consuming, but I kind of like this time consuming type activity. I think it's very therapeutic. You could totally add variety by using different colors of buttercream and alternate, you know, like purple and green or a full rainbow, just whatever you want to do. Now let me show you. I'm going to mix up the texture just a little bit. So I have the 4B tip, and I'm just going to do the exact same thing, and it's just going to add a slightly different look. Same exact thing, just press in and pull. You could have one color with the 4B tip and a different color with the round tip. I'm just gonna do one row of that. So I'm gonna do 3 of the round tip, and then I'm gonna do the 4th row, every 4th row with the 4B tip. But you can see how it just adds a little bit different look there. Really cool. Okay, now we're getting to the end, and it's a little bit tricky to finish this off. So there's obviously going to be a front of the cake and a back of the cake. However, I will tell you, I have done this same technique going from the bottom up, and then you don't need to worry about this awkward finish right here, but I'm gonna show you how to finish it off the best way possible. So my pattern actually worked really well. I was able to get every 4th row with that 4B tip, and it's gonna end just right. Sometimes that's just luck. So I'm just gonna take, this is my second to last row, and I'm just gonna drag it right up to this one, not overlapping. Now I'm just gonna finish off right here. And I'm just going to drag it just barely, just right up to the edge there. There we go. Another tip I've learned is if you stick this in the freezer for 5 or 10 minutes and let the buttercream freeze, it's really easy to manipulate the buttercream with your fingers just a little bit without totally messing it up, and you can kind of smooth that out and make the transition just a little bit smoother. But how cute is this cake? All right, so now I'm just going to top it off with a little rope border and just the same color of buttercream. Don't forget, if this is the back of your cake, that's where you want to start your rope border, because that's where you'll finish with just that little bit weird transition. And there's our cute little shell technique on this cake. Really simple, and it took me, this is a smaller cake, but it took me, maybe only 10 or 15 minutes to get that fully piped, and it just adds such a pretty effect. So if you want to see more tutorials just like this one, make sure you subscribe to my channel. See you next time.